When does a pitch become a pitch? In this video, we're reviewing what to a fan might seem like a mundane question, but we as umpires know that time of pitch can have a big impact in our game, especially on rules such as balks and awards of bases. So let's review the key definitions for enforcing these rules, and then we'll jump into this week's case plays. As always, if you want to see how well you can do on the case plays before reviewing them with me, you can find a link to them in the video description below. Hi everyone, Patrick Farber here with GHSA Baseball Umpire Development and Umpire Classroom, where we help umpires develop their knowledge and skills. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and sign up to receive our weekly emails in the video description. Okay, let's get started. The definition we need to review today is in the rulebook in Rule 2-28-3. It reads, time of pitch is when the pitcher has committed himself to delivering the pitch to the batter. For the windup position, the time of pitch occurs when the pitcher A. first starts any movement of his arms or legs after stepping onto the pitcher's plate with his hands already together in front of his body. B. with both hands at his side, first starts any movement with both arms or legs prior to the pitch. C. with either hand in front of the body and the other hand at his side, after bringing his hands together, first starts any movement of his arms or legs prior to the pitch. Okay, let's break that down. In the first scenario, if the pitcher engages the rubber with both hands already together, then any movement other than disengaging from the rubber would be considered starting their pitch. The second scenario here is the most complicated one and the one that will most likely trip up umpires. If the pitcher engages the rubber with both hands at his side, any movement, including the movement of bringing the arms together, would be considered the start of their delivery. This would mean with runners on, if the pitcher takes a signal from the catcher in the windup with his hands at his side, the act of bringing them together would be the start of his delivery, and at that point he'd be committed to pitch. Failing to do so would be a balk. Finally, in the third scenario, if the pitcher in the windup takes a sign from the catcher with one hand in front and one hand by the side, regardless of which hand it is, then the act of bringing the hands together would not be the start of his delivery. Any movement after he has brought his hands together is when he would be committed to making his delivery. Now, let's move on to the set position. For the set position, the time of pitch occurs the instant the pitcher, after coming to a complete and discernible stop, starts any movement with arms and or legs that commits him to pitch. We aren't covering balks in this video, and we're not going to break down the exact instant that a pitcher has committed himself to deliver to the plate, but do know that this is the definition for time of pitch from the set position. So now that we've reviewed time of pitch, let's jump into this week's case plays. Case play number 1. R3 is on third and R1 on first with no outs. F1 contacts the pitcher's plate and assumes the set position. As he begins his stretch, R1 advances towards second base, attempting to steal. F1 realizes R1 is stealing, but does not throw to second, fearing that R3 will break for home and score. F1 completes his stretch, coming to a pause with the ball in both hands in front of his body. R1 reaches second and rounds it, after which F1 delivers the ball to B3, who fouls the pitch into the stands. Is this A, R1 should be returned to first, or B, R1 should remain at second base? The correct answer here is B, R1 will remain at second base. The reason being, R1 had already reached second base by the time that the time of pitch occurred. Case play number 2. R3 is on third base with 2 outs. F1 contacts the pitcher's plate and assumes the windup position with his glove hand in front of his body and his pitching hand by his side. As he brings his pitching hand to his glove hand, R3 takes off for home. F1 steps legally off the pitcher's plate with his pivot foot and throws to F2 to tag out R3. Is this a balk? The correct answer is that this is not a balk. Because the pitcher took his sign from the catcher with one hand in front of his body and one by his side, the act of bringing those hands together does not commit him to deliver a pitch to the plate. For that reason, he can legally disengage the rubber and throw home as an infielder. Case play number 3. With R3 on third base, F1 steps on the pitcher's plate in the wind-up position with both hands at his sides to take a sign from F2. After taking the sign, F1 brings both hands up together in front of his body and then stops to adjust the ball. Is this a balk? The correct answer here is that this is a balk. Because the pitcher took his sign with both hands at his sides, the act of bringing them together is the start of his delivery. When he fails to deliver that pitch, that would be a balk. There you have it, our review of time of pitch in NFHS baseball rules. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to our channel, and you can sign up to receive our weekly emails in the video description below. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I look forward to seeing you on the field.